tattoos because I just finished up my back tattoo. And I see people asking me, like, hey, Sai, what's the back tattoo? What's the back tattoo? Are you going to show it? No. It's one of those secrets that you'll have to see me take off my shirt one day and you'll find out what it is. It's going to be a trade secret. But Par was asking about tattoo sessions because I told him that the last session was super short. And I said it was 2 hours, and he was kind of bewildered by that. So I'm going to...
Well, I wasn't bewildered. I was just more like, I feel like, because whenever I hear somebody get a tattoo that I know, they're getting not intensive stuff, right? Like they're just like, like a lot of people get spontaneous tattoos too. Where it's like they'll go to a country and get a tattoo, which I'm all for. Like my, I forget who it was. They recently just did that, and it's like, those tattoos don't take that long. I feel like the general populace gets like an hour, 2 hour tattoo.
I mean, maybe like if they're getting if your tattoo is less than an hour or 2 hours, it is small. Like you're getting like some tramp stamp, like a small little no detailed butterfly.
Or they're getting like their hand or like their arm or something, like they'll get like
even an arm tattoo takes longer than that. Like a good one takes longer than that.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm looking at you and I'm like, yeah, that's not the tattoos that like I feel like the general person walks into a store and they're like, you see that guy's arm right there? That one, yep, that wristband thing.
So
that's what I want.
Here. I mean, I don't normally show off my tattoos, but I have good tattoos. I have bad tattoos.
You're not.
Yeah, I have good and bad ones, but like I never like put it up to the camera like, hey, check this out. But like,
yeah.
When it comes to time, like this one right here, very basic black line, like no real details to it. This took like but an hour, right? It's super simple.
Yeah.
But then you go to like something that's more like complex. It has like actual like shading to it, and it's like, okay, this one took like 4 hours, and that's just kind of how it is. Like if you want a good tattoo, it just takes longer, and I feel like
hold up your hand again.
This one.
Your other one. Twist it like your wrist.
Yeah.
Okay, you see like this part like on your wrist, like I feel like that width and that height, that's like this like what like a person who obviously isn't sleeved up, tattooed up, and like frequently gets tattoos like that. Like if they're just like, let me get a tattoo. They're not opposed to getting tattoos. They get tattoos. They have like an ankle thing or a thing.
Yeah.
And then they sit down and like that would probably be like the standard, even if it was like detailed, that would be like, let me get that.
But you shouldn't be like, I mean, I guess you can be proud of it. I don't know. Maybe I'm just like a snob because I have
you're so into the world.
Yeah, I have 29 tattoos, man. I have like good ones that I got from like a couple years ago, and then I have like bad ones that I got fresh out of high school. Yeah, and it's that's just kind of how it is. But like usually good tattoos take anywhere from like 4 to 6 hours, and if it's bigger, multiple sessions. It is be like that sometimes. Like my back piece took 4 sessions in total, like maybe 17 hours.
I knew that, and I feel like it's funny because like people were the recent stream you were busy because of that, so you weren't there, and so I like moved around the schedule. But like, I'm not telling them, I'm not gonna be like, oh, Sai's getting his back tattoo done because you're not there to say it. It's like weird. Oh, oops, hold on.
You're good.
Yeah, like you're not there to say it, and so like, but then also, even if I wanted to, even if I was like, oh, Sai's getting his back tattoo, it's like I feel like most people like, again, that sounds fish. You know what I mean? Because like if we said
that, no. Surely people know it's like you need multiple sessions.
Some people like there. I think there's
he's working out his job more than just one day.
What? Oblivious of tattoos that they were like, yeah, that makes sense. Multiple things like, but there's also the oblivious side that we're like, wait, how long does a tattoo take? And like for me, my question was more like, because when you said it was light and I was like, oh, so they're just like finishing, they're fine tuning stuff, right? And that's exactly what they did. But I know how intensive the design and everything and the dopeness factor is there, right? But like when it came to the sessions, and you said a short 2 hours, but prior we've moved our schedule so that you could have sessions. I was like, short 2 hours. Wait, how long were you there for a single day? And you were like 5-6 hours. And then I'm like, okay, that's interesting, but like that's a normal thing. So then what's like an excessive? You like 10 hours. I'm like, and I was
Yeah.
like, do you take breaks? And they're like, no. And I'm like, what? How did my hand cramps thinking about that?
Yeah,
You
well,
know, like
so when you're getting a tattoo that's long, like, you know, even the 2 hour session, 4, 5, 10 hour session, you do get breaks, but it's not like a big break. Usually it's like maybe 5 minutes. You smoke a cigarette, you take a piss, you come back in. Like that's usually what it
yeah,
is. Like
that's
you
literally
don't like
what.
go get dinner, you know, come back later. You don't go grab lunch, you know, like cook up some
Yeah,
food. Nah.
I've been to 3 tattoo things, I think, and I think you just described literally what the tattoo people do too. It's just like done. Let me take a quick smoke, and then they come back, and I'm like, damn,
Yeah.
what the hell?
That's
You
what I
know,
do. Just like go outside, smoke a cigarette, just come back in.
it's interesting. That's crazy. But like,
Cigarettes are good,
so for
man.
the oh my god, we're not endorsing that.
Big
We're not
cigarette,
endorsing
big
cigarettes.
tobacco. Come here.
No, 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 Sai, we're not doing that. Not on this
Wait,
channel.
wait, 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 wait.
Um,
Would you turn down a cigarette sponsor?
yes,
You
I hate,
would?
I there it's tiers, but like the reason why it's all the same is because the cigarette companies are the vape companies, and I hate the vape companies like Juul and all those things. I they almost, if they didn't get the FBI investigation when they did, I would have used the
I would
Parvision
have
powers.
investigated.
No, I like everything that the FBI investigated. I literally said like I in a
That's
previous
so funny.
because that's when it's like stock stuff. So like I sat down with a bunch of other people and I was saying like this and this, and then the FBI investigation proved all of the things I said was right. And I'm like, see, this fucking bullshit, stupid ass company. I hate them because they single handedly ruined. We almost got out of cigarettes as like a youth thing because it used to be like when my brother and older cousins were in school, cigarettes were everywhere. Everyone did it. You were the loser if you didn't do smoke cigarettes at school or whatever, right? But then even at my school, like people got mad at people smoking like that's how reversed it was. And then
Yeah, that's so
after
crazy.
we left, vapes came in and all my younger cousins became addicted, and it became to a point where they were refusing it, and only like literally 3 of them or 4 of them now are upset at themselves that they got addicted. They refuse that they literally have to go to basically rehab for that thing because they have like chronic shakes because those nicotine things, not those pods,
Jules,
they were
Jules.
so they had like 20 packs worth of nicotine sometimes in one thing, and they would advertise, yeah, it's fine, just take a pod, whatever. And it's like people, there was no oversight, nothing. And the reason why it's the big tobacco thing funded Juul. It's all the same thing. It's not separate. It's all one and done. Like, and it makes so much more sense that it is one and done. They act like, oh my God, vapes, get off your cigarette and take on vapes. Okay, so then why are you advertising to a completely different demographic than what you're trying to fight against?
It's
None of the
smart. It's
people,
smart.
and
It's a
that's
good
what
business
upset me,
move.
that they the reason that I got viscerally angry was because this is an interesting thing. I might actually talk about this on my main channel. I told you some of the things I've been working on during the break. But one of the things that I actually did when I conceptualized, fun fact, like 2018, 2017, I wrote Parvision in a notebook, like a bunch of ideas that I wanted to get started, different things I would talk about. And it was like a YouTube channel, a business thing, and I had a bunch of things. So Parvision, though it started much later, it was all in this notebook. Like I forget where it is, but I have a notebook, all these ideas. But what came before Parvision was I had, this is before Baby Shark. Before Baby Shark, one of my friends was a musician, and I told him because YouTube was cracking down on kids content, and kids content's really bad right now. Kids content is going to go through an evolution, and I also personally, my wife always says like, great with kids, whatever. I don't really care for that thing, but what I do care for is that kids get good educational material. And I looked at the YouTube stuff, the stuff that are cracking down on, and that made me so mad that like this shit that they allowed on a kids app, and there's no oversight. And I was happy that they finally cracked down on it. But like, in the wake of that like adpocalypse, Baby Shark came out 6 months after I told my friend, like, yo, we should make a song about I mean, I'm not saying like, oh, I thought of Baby. What I'm saying was like, the timing was
I
crazy
thought of
because I
Baby
literally
Shark
told
before it came out.
I told my friend, like, this year there's going to be viral kids content that reaches our thing. And then when Baby Shark went viral, he hit me up and he's like, do you still want to make those songs? Because we had a bunch written down. And around that time I had like a bunch of kids books and that like wanted to be published. I even like fun fact, like my landlord at the time, he worked at a publishing thing, and so I was like going to use that pipeline. And like my good friends right now, I know a few people work at the publishing stuff, so I had all that stuff ready, and they still ask me like, do you still want to
do you think it'd be easy to publish a kids book? I feel like they're easily entertained.
Yeah, it's easy, but the thing is the popularity of it's all word of mouth at this point. And
yeah, go around to like your local daycares and like drop that book off.
Yeah,
I might do that.
And so going back to the vape conversation, Juul essentially took like marketing practices geared towards children, very obviously, and like there are laws against it. They just subjugate it, and they have the big cig companies behind them, and they did all this stuff, but they were 100% doing the same problematic bullshit that the YouTube like awful kids content was doing. And they were just it was just so predatory. It is what I would argue, given how many people I've talked to. I know, not even personally know, but they like another fun fact, one back during that time I was doing a lot of like supplement, like health stuff because of my stuff. And there's actually a YouTuber that we both know that they were smoking since they were a kid. They've always tried to quit. They never could. They've always wanted to. But like it's kind of like your situation where it's like you don't go to the doctors because it doesn't matter. You're like, you're fine, you're healthy. But for him, he just randomly, his health started failing. And the one thing that like, obviously wasn't helping was smoking so much. And that was the one thing that he also couldn't like really easily remove. He could change his life around. But like he was basically confronted with death. Like it was like a terrifying situation because he explained this publicly, so some people might know, but like it was like a terrifying thing because like he's married, and like basically it's just like, it's an awful, like, imagine this. I mean, I'll say it in my thing, right? If I just collapsed at my desk and I'm like working late at night and my wife came to my room and I was just like on the ground unconscious, you know what I mean? Like, that's not, you don't want to ever be in that situation, especially in like your significant other sees you like that, your family, whatever. And so he made the decision to try his best to quit smoking, but he couldn't. He's been smoking since he's like 13. It's a cultural thing. But I helped him get off of it. Like within like a month or two, he with supplements and a few different things, he was able to, at the last time I talked to him, he was like 7 months, no smoke, nothing. Now, as far as like other things that are involved, yeah, I mean, I can't help with that, but no nicotine. Hey, that's solid for me because nicotine's so bad for you, especially for your spine. But anyways, besides the point, what's it called? Juul single-handedly reverted that problem, and then you were seeing those same health issues that like 50 people who smoked since they were like kids and smoking 30 years, they don't even have those problems. But it's because the Juul was like hyper shooting up nicotine into your system that now we actually know so much like how much nicotine actually affects you. Like, for example, the mini thing that I could just say before going back to like the main topic was we always know nicotine as a stimulant. But they never, and this is something that people are so crazy about, like caffeine's a stimulant, nicotine's a stimulant, on the same tier as like, yeah, Adderall and all those things, they are stimulants. The question is, how do they get how do they affect you? We know how caffeine works. Caffeine's an interesting one because most people don't know how to use it properly. Caffeine's better for physical activity, but which is why like a lot of protein or pre-workout stuff has a lot of caffeine. But if you're doing like office work, caffeine isn't the right stimulant, which is why a lot of crazy workers end up going to different stimulants like nicotine and stuff like that. But the way nicotine, which we found out more concretely recently after the pandemic, after Juuls and all this stuff, and I don't want you to spin this in a positive way at all. I'm curious, you might see it as a positive way. But what we know now is the way that nicotine is able to achieve its stimulant effect is I forget if the word primarily is accurate here, but it's reroutes your circulation from your lower extremities, mainly your lower spine and your nether regions, and it reroutes it to your brain. So your circulation gets deprioritized down there. And so what they found was that people who have an insane amount of like nicotine addiction, but they don't necessarily have lung damage, they are seeing that their lower spine is starting to like fracture easily or more easily or get damaged and all that stuff. And it's like, oh my God, that's such a crazy thing that like if you were to think about like options, if you were at a store like, this stimulant, gives me insomnia. This stimulant gives me the jitters. This stimulant destabilizes my lower spine.
It could be a superpower.
That's crazy. Hey, some people maybe
you're like
spine.
in a boxing match one day and somebody aims for that lower spine and you just like fracture it right there and you like dodge the hit. You ever think about that
I don't
part?
know if you fracture it and dodge it, I don't know if you came out that winning. You know what I mean?
But what if you're about to be hit by like Mike Tyson, like full power, like he's pulling out the all for one, like all of his generations of family are coming in for this one punch, and that's like absolute death. And you're like, you know what?
Mike Tyson,
you have a flashback where you smoke every cigarette every day in your life, like a time lapse, right? You see that time lapse of that guy who every day he wakes up, he takes a picture and he does it from like all the way when he's like, I think 7 years old, all the way to like he's 30. Imagine that, but it's just you smoking, and then all of that smoke comes back into your lower spine, and it just cracks right at that moment, and you dodge the punch and you survive.
Okay, so I'm gonna throw out like 3 different things.
That hypothetical is killer, man. If Mike Tyson
is fighting you and you're not a professional fighter, you probably are in the wrong spot. You have a lot of things going wrong for you, other than because let me tell you, I've lived a long life and I haven't been in that situation, and I don't think most people.
You know who didn't think they'd be in that situation? Ip Man. Ip Man didn't think he'd be in that situation, but let me tell you, young Ip Man found himself fighting Mike Tyson out of nowhere.
And okay, and then so the second part is if you were to channel all the smokes, all the nicotines, the Nick hits you've had in your lifetime, you'd end up as the person from SpongeBob that goes chocolate.
No, you would end up like Smoke from Mortal Kombat. You'd be super cool. Bihan is his name.
Yeah, and then third thing, I'm pretty sure
you're
know
just
of
a smoke
stories.
hater.
We know of stories.
Come on, Par. What about the hookah bars?
Somebody.
Where's the hookah bars? Come on.
Hookah bars are awful too, but Mike Tyson hitting somebody, and the difference between hookah bar and this thing though is and as far as the cultural stuff, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like for me,
yeah. Do you hate Middle Eastern culture, bars?
I hate all cultures. I hate every culture.
You don't like the hookah bars, man. Come on.
Like the U.S. social drinking, the dumbest garbage ever. Like
social drinking is
social
amazing.
Smoking, garbage. Like all that shit is the same, and it's all garbage. Like at the end of the day, like these ancient societies, just like, yo, we're cool, and it's like the difference is like back then, right? You didn't live with your health problems because you died at 20 anyways. You died at 30 anyways. Like now,
by the way, guys, this isn't me advocating to go smoking or drinking. I'm just saying, personally, I enjoy it, but it is a bad lifestyle. Definitely detrimental to your health. But to be argumentative against Par, no, smoking's cool. Social drinking's awesome.
I'm gonna bring up one more thing after this last meme thing that I think you will actually like, because you'll like why I said it, and I feel like some of the viewers are gonna be like, you know, they've brought him up a few times before. But
Who, Mr.
the other
Beast?
part about it is we know of plenty of people who've gotten punched by Mike Tyson, and Mike Tyson was trying, and their spine is fine. So like, I don't know if fracturing your spine to dodge Mike Tyson is worth not fracturing your spine and still getting hit by Mike Tyson. Because if you get hit by it, yeah, you get bruised, yeah, you get hurt. Maybe you're out of commission for it. Maybe you even get knocked out. But your spine
it's a one-hit
is
KO.
not fractured.
It would be a one-hit death sentence because he's channeling all of his ancestors and all of his family members into this punch.
Okay, and even I'm pretty sure even a concussion is less bad. I think
it wouldn't be a concussion. It would be instant death. Imagine like 50.
You said KO. I didn't know death. That's
yeah.
Not KO.
I mean, okay. I didn't want to say it on YouTube. Yeah, the guy fucking dies and goes to hell.
Now we're
you touch him and his blood explodes. His body's gone. His legs combust. You know what? Your family's right beside you. They get showered in your fucking blood. Oh my God, is that a kitty on Aunt Gertha? Yeah, it is. It's yours. You're dead.
You introed this video or the last video saying, "Oh, all Par thinks about is dying, death, and dying, and now all of a sudden,
because you're rubbing off on me, Par."
No, but you censored yourself.
But here's the thing: you're a patient. You're a patient. You know, every now and then we rake in the cancer dollars. But let me tell you, Par, we can't just talk about death like otherwise, right?
Oh yeah, because nobody.
Okay, how about this? Par. Mike Tyson hits this guy and he gets cancer. How about that? Is that better?
Okay, I would fracture my spine to dodge cancer.
You would fracture your spine to avoid cancer. Oh, thank you, Par. There we go. Yes.
This is the one time I endorse nicotine to destabilize your spine to avoid cancer. Because maybe in some world, nicotine addiction is a little bit better than having cancer.
Sometimes nicotine addiction can lead to cancer, but let me tell you, at least it's not 100% guaranteed like a punch from Mike Tyson.
Mike Tyson's gonna be listening to. He's gonna like, since when that happened?
That'd be crazy though, man. Like, imagine having like one of the strongest punches in the world, and it's also coated. Yeah, it has like that crazy attribute where it just like gives you cancer on top of like it's like one of those memes where like, hey, like, oh, a snake bites Chuck Norris, and then 3 days later the snake dies. It's like that, but Mike Tyson, like, he punches you one day. If you don't die from that, and you just die from cancer. Which would be worse? If you had to pick, would you rather die from cancer or like a punch that just knocks you out in one hit?
Oh, a punch.
Yeah, it's like quick, right?
Yeah,
that's what I'm talking. It's like painless.
That if there was a person who could advertise guaranteed, they would probably be one of the wealthiest people on the planet. You
guaranteed
know what I mean?
death, yeah. Just like, just one touch.
Simple.
Like it would be so quick, your body wouldn't even register it really.
Yeah, not even a bullet can do that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So that guy, you know, expensive service right there. Make sure to tip him. If you guys don't know what that's from,
make sure to tip Mike Tyson afterwards. Just no, tip him in advance.
Not for the cancer. Yeah, because you want to be prioritized. You don't want to be waiting. The whole point of it is the quick one.
Do you want to be in the back of the line or the front of the line? Come on. When Mike Tyson's delivering the punch, do you want him to smile or not smile? Come on. Be real.
Yeah, the thing that I was gonna bring up in relation to this smoking cigarette and your disclaimer thing, like for me it all comes down to the age demographic. That's why the Juuls thing, because like Marlboro, like smoking stuff, that's always been there. You go to anything, like everybody's like advertising smoking just by existing, right? Literally you go to some metropolitan cities and the air is just cigarette smoke. Like that's what it is. And it's like adults, I don't care. Like adults like make decisions. Everyone's adult. Some people are lobotomized naturally, like, and they make awful decisions chronically. But sometimes it's because of these addictions that it happens. And you know, you can't fight. You can't win all of those battles. But the one thing is the age demographic with the Juuls, their target thing, the proven stuff, FBI investigation, like everything confirms. Like, yeah, they were being predatory Awful. That's what pissed me off when I first heard about Juul. Then like seeing
They
it
kind of
happen
have
to
to
a bunch
be
of people
though,
I know.
right? Like to make money.
For their thing, yes, they
Yeah.
because on the surface level, their thing was a therapeutic product to get you off of nicotine, off of cigarettes. That's what their fallback thing. Like, oh no, we're not advertising for kids. We're a good company that's trying to help people beat cigarette stuff. Meanwhile, they're funded by the cigarettes companies, or the main one. I forget the name of them, but you know, people know what it is. And so that was my issue, is like they did it purely because of profit, greed, and they didn't give a it's as bad as the opioid people, in my, if not worse, because the opioid one, it's predatory. And the thing is with the opioid is like there's a value to it. It's just that like the people made it problematic. The Juul situation, there almost isn't, like, you're giving us a substitute for something that's already bad, you know. And it's like the opioid one is almost synonymous in my opinion, because like similarly, like when I tore my ACL and I was a kid, right, they were giving opioid like a crazy amount. They would never give that much to a kid now that they did back then, like
the
10,
opioid
15
crisis
years
is
ago.
still raging.
Yeah, and the problem is the age, right? This kid, like, I was old enough to research it. I refused to take him. All right, I was like, I don't want to take it. If I take it, I'm gonna take half. Like, I don't care. Doesn't matter. I don't care what you prescribe me. Disclaimer: normally you should listen to what your doctor prescribes you, but the opioids is a little bit different. That being said, back then it's like, why is a 12-year-old like for like a sprained ankle getting like opioids? That doesn't even make sense, right? And that's where it's synonymous with Juul, in my opinion, where it's like the you can't be like that's where you got my blood boiling so much. And there's a person that, you know, we've talked about this, we don't really like idolize or care for, but you know, I had they watched one of my videos on their stream. You know, some people even come out, I think you said it too, some people are like, dang, Pars kind of reminds me of this big Twitch streamer Hassan. And he did something that upset me to the point where if I ever got him on stream, I would scold him. But the only reason why I'm not upset at him is because
Hassan.
Yeah, because he's the Middle Eastern culture that smoking is cool, and that's fine. Saying it's fine, but he literally will like not do it. He doesn't smoke on stream. He quit. He tried to quit or whatever, but he'll like ceremoniously do it and like be like, smoking is cool. And I get that stuff exists, right? And I'm not upset at him like as much as I would be a Juul, but like it's on Twitch, like young people see it, but the difference is he knows his demographic. His demographic is all old people, right? That bothers me a lot less. But when he did it at the TwitchCon. He went on TwitchCon, he went on stage, and he had like an 80, 70 things. And I get it for the cosplay, I guess it's cool, whatever.
Yeah.
But like TwitchCon is something that, yeah, a lot of kids watch. And it's like, there's no reason to do that. And for me, it is a big deal. Like that to me, it's like, you know, there's no reason to glorify something that literally kills people, literally causes addiction, and is predatory towards children, literally wants them to get addicted to it. And so if I ever got him on stream, I would be like, this is the segment. This is now sit down, publicly scold you. Don't do this shit.
See, here's
awful.
where I stand. I mean, you too, like, culture-wise and just, I guess, age-wise, like, we grew up in an era where smoking cigarettes was a cool thing.
Yeah.
Not a good thing. It was never like smoking cigarettes is gonna, you know, get your lower back super strong. Like, it wasn't it's gonna replace your bones with vibranium.
But the asterisk I would put there is that at the time, a little bit before us, but at the time, I would say 100% our parents, and it started ending around our time, like when we were born, is like, it wasn't bad. It just wasn't, obviously it's not recommended.
Yeah, it's not recommended, but like, it was never listed as like a bad thing, but people knew there were probably health risks to it, is what I mean. So yeah, same thing.
Yeah,
but I mean, at the end of the day, like, I don't smoke often. Like, every now and then, like, I'm hanging out, like, I'll smoke a cigarette like once a week, right? Once, like, it's very rare. Like, it'll take me like months before I finish a pack of cigarettes. I do not smoke that often. but it's just because I like to do it. I think it's fun. I like the aesthetic of it. And honestly, because I'm since I don't take in a lot of nicotine, one cigarette will do it for me for like a week. I'm like, all right, good. I'm on the nicotine high for like months now. But I would never recommend it to somebody younger. But as far as Hasan goes, like if he just smokes on the side, like I don't expect people to just like be that conscious about other people. Like, oh, like there's a lot of underage people here. I guess I'm not gonna smoke. I feel like it's fine. Like I'm not gonna like lambast him for that one, right?
So there's
unless he's going out there and saying, "Hey guys, everybody go out there and use my promo code to get some cigarettes."
It's a gray area. He's joking, right? And he talks about the same thing. He actually has like a worse version.
Yeah.
But he knows the nuance of that one versus the smoking one. I feel like it's like, yeah, I agree with you. He's not doing it on stream. He doesn't do it on stream. He quit. It was really bad for his health and it was detrimental, so he stopped.
Yeah.
But he'll talk about how smoking is really cool. Like and like he'll like, for example, if someone like is in a political, like he's watching a video and it's like a video and someone is like smoking a thing, and he'll like sometimes have a pause and be like, yo, that's so sick, you know, like, or like he'd be like, that just looks cool, you know what I mean? And he knows it's really bad, and he puts a disclaimer and it's like really bad. And that's you know, if someone can't respect, there's nuance, right? Like I have cancer, right? But I also feel like I should be able to comfortably exist in a space, and some of that is breathing what I want to breathe, right? Like if you are smoking, don't make other people have to deal with that. So if you're smoking, go out of your way to leave people out of it. That's one pet peeve, when people just like whip out a cig and they're in a public place, but they're like in the lobby of something. It's like, yeah, there's no not smoking thing, but there's literally kids right here. Like, what are you doing? You're that brain broken. You can't just walk outside. You know what I mean? You can't walk a few steps. Like, go outside, go do that. That's another thing, right? And obviously he knows that. I'm not attributing that to Hasan, but that's like an issue. But the other part is, it's like, you know, why is it cool? Why is it aesthetic? It's because these companies made it aesthetic. They made it cool. They paid money to put it in media. They paid money to, like, you know, like if you're making a movie, right? It's like, imagine before this existed. It's like, I'm just writing a scene about this guy and a girl and they're in love, blah, blah, blah. And then it's like, hey man, can you add a smoking scene? And it's like, you know what I mean? Like, if you're going to pay me, why not? Doesn't hurt, doesn't help, you know what I mean? And it's like, that's the problem. And for me, the other part is again, I said it before, I'm not a cultural person. I'm not a traditional person. I dislike anything that we continue, and with a like baseline logic, we can just like disprove, or not disprove, or like we like the nuance of it doesn't make sense anymore. And a lot of that, like social drinking, social smoking, like we now know like why like Wall Street does crack and cocaine, like all that stuff. It's like they do that, but it's like it's still like illegal, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, so, but why like, for example, there's another thing. This girl, she went to, I think it's Panera. I think it was Panera. Let me Google this one. I don't want to get this one wrong. This one's a crazy story. I was gonna bring it up actually.
But yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I understand where you're coming from, but I don't necessarily like. I don't have the health issues like you, so yeah. I just don't get as like upset. And yeah, like the tobacco companies are predatory, but at the same time, it's like, I just think it's aesthetic. I have never really seen like the propaganda around it, but it's more like, I just like fire. Like advertising never really got me.
I would argue that you are more of an exception in most situations than not, and like your life is a testament to that. Plenty of the stories of the past are a testament to why we both are exceptions to that. That, you know, like as far as the social norm of how people get into these things, it's like it's the same thing with drugs. Like the drug campaigns, the anti-drug campaigns, that we had when we were younger did more counter damage. They were more gateways, in my opinion, to not being gateway. And if they wanted to be properly against it, they would have done a better job. Like all those commercials, like, oh, don't do drugs, your brain is like on eggs and shit. It's like that was the stupidest shit ever, and probably got more people to do all of the drugs because they're like, scrambled eggs, my brain sounds legit, I don't even know, but those are the commercials we had when we were kids. um and yeah, like the aesthetic doesn't get you, but like the other part is, it's like, um to most people, right, I'm just a 20-year-old, right? I'm just a 20-year-old, no health issues on the surface. And the thing is, most people, especially in America, don't realize how many people around them are like have an illness, a chronic illness. And that's why, like, a lot of people have agoraphobia because of health reasons. And it's because they can't control what other people do. There's certain things that other people do, and it's just bad for their health, and they just can't be outside. And that's like the same thing for me. It's like, yeah, if someone's skating cancer diagnosis, which more and more 20-year-olds and younger people are doing, they're not going to want to be around a smoker. In fact, a lot of families have to quit smoking because of that. I know personally a lot of people, their relatives, like, oh man, like I want to be there and support them, but like I got to give up smoking. I had a few relatives have to do that because they want to like visit me more often too. Also with my son, because people don't know about third hand smoke, that is actually more dangerous to babies than secondhand smoke. But this girl, she dies from drinking lemonade at Panera.
Damn.
Ow. This is recent. UPenn student, Ivy Leaguer, healthy, healthy with an asterisk, I'll say. But what do you think happened? Lemonade, Panera.
I'm assuming just bacteria in the lemonade. Did they let it sit out or something?
That's what you think. Nope. It was Panera's charged lemonade, which doesn't advertise. It's like, I guess it's like a really cool looking, fruity thing or whatever. They don't advertise that the amount of caffeine in there is, I think, 400 grams per serving. So that, to give you context, that's like 2 monsters. Now, most people can, yes, tolerate that much thing, but unless you're like a power lifter, you're not normally taking in 400 milligrams. Oh, it's 390. Adding that 390. Yeah, 390. So 400. That's 2, what are these? I drink.
And
these,
she died of that. Just 2 monsters.
So she died because she had a rather light like heart condition. Like it's not like, it doesn't impede her life that much, but she does avoid caffeine. But they didn't advertise that their charged lemonade had double like Red Bull, double Monster. That's ridiculous. Even Red Bull and Monster would sit to be like, yo, that's a lot. I would be confused if I just ordered my wife 390 milligrams of caffeine and she took that, she would knock out, because not because she has a health thing, but because her ADHD does not work well with caffeine. She would like spaz out and then fall asleep because of the overstimulation. But that's the thing. It's like, I didn't look too far into it, but like the way they advertised it, the way they do that stuff, that's where I have issues with. It's like people don't realize everything is advertised, everything is marketing, and that's where I have issues. Juuls was blatantly doing it, Juul, whatever, they were blatantly doing it, and that's what I oppose. And I feel like when people casually bring it up, like oh yeah, smoking is cool, like blah blah, it's so cool to smoke. Yes, like Hassan, people don't have to be cognizant of that, especially in our realm of like content creator. But I do think that something like cigarettes, even like alcohol to a certain extent, but we're in America, so it's alcohol, right? But it's like we shouldn't glorify these things. Smoking is like so much easier to denounce than alcohol, because it's like, yeah, you're telling kids to breathe in toxic air, and at the minimum, you can't recover your lungs. Like lungs are not like regenerative like that. They're not like your biceps. You don't break you tear your bicep muscles, they rebuild. You tear your lungs apart, that doesn't rebuild. You're just lungless at that point. And And the more we take smoking out of media, out of that thing, I think it'll be better. And the thing is, we were so close to solving it, and then Juuls happened, and vaping happened, and now it's so hard because you watch. I feel like I've seen a few clips from like these younger shows, and to make it like normal, they have the kids do drugs and stuff like that, and young kids watch that. Young kids absolutely watch those things. That's where I have the issue. Anything that does that towards targeting kids, especially in a predatory way, without disclaimers, without like, hey, like this is a comedy show, we're joking, hey, I'm a dumbass Twitch streamer, it's not, don't listen to me for health advice, right? Like, hey, I'm not even a health professional, hey, like, you know, like what you did, right? Like, you're not someone's like idol, right? That's where I'm kind of like, yeah, versus a lot of the people with Juuls and all that stuff, like those marketing, they'll use your idols or children's idols and use those pipelines to market these things in ways that when you go down that pipeline of the marketing towards kids and how insidious it is, it's terrifying. It's so scary. And this is all before I even had my own kid. But now that I have my own kid, I know full well, me and my wife both know a lot, but it's so crazy. Like, you want to trust like a TV show or something to let your kid watch for a little bit, even though TV is bad at certain ages. It's like sometimes you have to, and then you leave for like 10 minutes. Then you see on the screen, it's like, yo, what is this? What is this craziness? Even if you're on YouTube Kids, even if you're
That's
there.
funny. Just even you come back and your kid's like, dang, I want to smoke a cigarette, buddy.
Yeah, no, it's wild. It's wild, the things that but on the flip end, right? Hiding, shielding isn't the solution either, right? Like, all this stuff exists. It does no benefit to anybody to be like, to not to say don't smoke, but then also like never expose them to that world. No, that world exists. It's just like you have to be responsible, and by responsible, I just mean like everyone has to opt into their own decisions. And you can't do that as a kid. And how did we get into the cigarette stuff though?
I just brought up cigarettes because I was talking about tattoos and how I thought it was kind of cool, and I smoked a cigarette or two every now and then. And then you went on on your whole anti-smoking campaign.
I hate smoking.
It's like a dare campaign.
This is, yeah, no, I mean, if there's one thing that I could like delete, it'd be like the human invention of like wanting to inhale like random bullshit. It's like that's not even the good way to enter the stuff into your bloodstream. It's like it's like not efficient.
Yeah, just snort it.
There's so much. Yeah, I mean, your nose. We have better ways now. Like, it's just, I mean, we're not talking about that, but yeah. So I was
injected in the bloodstream, guys. You're not smoking right. If you want tobacco, just put it into your bloodstream. Come on.
Well, don't get tobacco. You want the nicotine. There's nicotine.
Yeah, we don't know about that
stuff for that.
We don't know about that. Just put
it. Just
poison. Nope. Just put it in your body. Come on. Don't actually do it though.
Yeah,
please.
You don't want.
We're not health experts.
Yeah, we're not health experts, but at the end of the day, it should be reasonably understood that breathing not air is not good for you. Like, we don't have.
Now,
we don't
what if they make like a healthy version of nicotine?
Humans would have to go. Wait, hold on. A healthy version of nicotine.
Maybe not like nicotine.
Healthy version of smoking.
Yeah, like a healthy something that has crazy health benefits, and when you smoke it. Like, let's say there's like this blue air that's now on the market. I mean, and whenever you smoke, you have to like smoke it like a cigarette. You got to light it up, and then by doing it, I don't know what the fuck it would do. It would make you 2 times stronger, I guess.
No, it's funny you're saying it does exist. Like, we do have inhalable stuff. Like for example, there was I'm trying to regather the terms. It was not a vaccine, but there's something like interferon medication that was only effective via inhalation because it needed to directly affect your lungs and need a target there. And so like what it did was the prospects of it was like your body goes through normal inflammation, right? And obviously for the COVID one, they were trying to counter COVID because it was like directly affecting lungs. But like your body goes through normal inflammation just by existing, right? You stand up, you strain your joints, you get a amount of inflammation. The problem is that when you get older, your tolerance to that inflammation and your ability to reduce that inflammation naturally is not there, which is why old people get tired or creaky, squeaky or quicker, right? They get sore quicker because they can't combat the inflammation. But we have that same, to a similar degree, we have the inflammation. And so one of the prospects for that medication was like you could reduce the inflammation to like a lot of the core respiratory things, and so like you would just breathe better and like fat, and it was like actually regenerative or whatever, and it was like really cool. So it could exist. That stuff is real, but not nicotine. I mean, I do think we do have like a safe nicotine. It's just not like the pharmaceuticals aren't gonna package it into a cigarette. You know what I mean? Like because it's not good. You could get like a derivative of nicotine in a safer way, but obviously they don't prescribe you that. So there's what that tells you is that as a stimulant, it's a bad stimulant because there are better stimulants that exist that are more effective to what you need than nicotine. Nicotine's more of like a catch-all low thing that kind of like if its function is based off of circulation, then hey, you could also get similar stimulant effects by improving your circulation, which we do know and we do have that. Like for example, COVID drugs. A lot of COVID drugs, a lot of people don't know this. They were meant to combat inflammation in your brain. What they found was a lot of the antidepressants were good against COVID because they countered the same inflammation in your brain. So now what we're saying is like, yeah, like your stimulant for nicotine, if you're getting stimulated because the increased amount of circulation, then you can take a substitute that increases your circulation and get the same effect that nicotine is giving you. But people don't know that, and we don't push that. But there's so many drugs out there right now. For example, Ozempic is one of them. Ozempic is one of those drugs that's meant for was passed for weight loss, but what they found out afterwards is that it also counters like heart disease, liver failure, like so many different things. And there's so many mechanisms, actions behind that. And it's similar to like a lot of these other drugs. So you never would have thought that oh, here's another one. One of the most prescribed medicines for joint knee pain. What's it called? What's it called when old people get joint pain? What's it called?
Arthritis.
Arthritis. Arthritis in the knee. One of the most prescribed medications for that. For if nothing else works. If you don't want cortisol shots, if you don't want other things, the most prescribed thing that they give you, it's like second or third. So like if the first thing doesn't work, they can give it to you second time. If there's another option for second thing, then they'll give you the third option. It's an antidepressant. That's what it is. For knee pain, arthritis, just antidepressant. That's what it is. People don't realize it's like when you said better nicotine, yeah, it's just better circulation. That's what that is. Now, if you were to say like is there a world where we could have smoking that is healthy for you? We would need to undergo a lung update. Like God would need to give us a software update, just like tea.
So I gotta ask now, do you believe in God?
Do I believe in God?
Yeah.
I believe in you know what, I like the simulation theory. I've been more and more prescribing to like we are in a simulation, you know what I mean, like, and the God would just be like whatever created the simulation, you know, like it's just kind of like that. We're just like an environment that was left to run, and for them it's like maybe it's like 2 seconds, like the same thing. It's like we have supercomputers now that can process more data bits than like all of humanity combined, right? And now we're getting to a point where we can like process information on like the universal, obviously we never get to that level, but like now just and it could be done in a second. It could be done in even shorter than a second. What if they just had that, and like for us it's like millions of years, and then for them it's like 5 seconds went by.
Yeah.
And there's like we're about to get canceled, but like for us, we just are here, you know? Like
yeah,
I prescribe to that idea.
That's what you put the most stock into?
Stocks would be the wider right. I don't like live by I don't live by a creationism clause in my life, you know? Like I don't sit there like, man, this man parted the seas for me and you know, that kind of stuff. No, no shots, but like, you know, I'm more on the simulation.
Not your cup of tea.
I do like the Interstellar, where it was like if we're three-dimensional creatures, the next dimensional is fourth. I do like the idea that there's like a fifth dimension, like we are three-dimensional creatures and you and I are interacting with each other on a two-dimensional thing, but we create two-dimensional stuff and we create the illusion that it's three-dimensional via like lighting and whatever, but it's two-dimensional. I would imagine that like maybe like that's the third dimension, or that's the fourth and fifth dimension, right? Like they're like sixth dimensional creatures that we are not offshoots, but like we're their bacteria. You know what I mean? It could be something like that, right? Like there's that concept too, where it's like our cells end up mimicking like the universe's structure. So if you look at like a neuron in your brain and then looked at like a nebula or whatever, and it looks the same, like maybe we're just like we're a microsystem of a macro system. So like maybe we're just like one giant red blood cell. Could be.
Yeah. I mean, there's no theory that's like correct or anything, so that's one we'll never find out.
Yeah. You know what I found out?
What's up?
About theories? Apparently, I didn't verify this. I saw this on 2 websites, and I don't trust those websites. But I just kind of was like, I believed it a little bit. Like, apparently, we don't know how planes fly.
We have 2 doubt that.
We have 2 good theories that work. It's similar to like, okay, it's similar to how, you know, like Einstein's theory of relativity?
Yeah.
They recently said it's incorrect, but it's not incorrect for like us. It's incorrect like on the quantum level. You know what I mean? So for the plane thing, apparently both theories work, but there's also existences of things that counter both theories. And both theories contradict each other. And so we kind of just operate on the main one, the more popular one. And it's fine. It works. For most situations, it's fine. We rarely it's again, it's similar to the theory of relativity, where it's like, yeah, Einstein's right. It's not like he was looking at the quantum realm, right? Like that doesn't make sense. But this flying one was even weirder. It was like, apparently we can't the air, it's something to do with like air pressure, and then what's it called? Like not lateral fluid. What's it called when like I forgot the term, when it's like you've seen, I know you've seen it, where like something is coming out of a pipe, like water, and then the water looks like it's still, but it's flowing. You know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about, but I'm looking up if we know why planes fly.
Yeah, like we like obviously we have aerospace, and like one of my friends like aerospace. Like we get that, we know that, but there's it's not on the quantum realm like level. Like again, E equals MC squared, right? Like I don't even know if in our lifetimes we are now, but like when he made it in his lifetime, it wasn't going to be a situation where he would actively interact with that to disprove it. Versus the airplane thing, apparently we do interact with that thing, we just avoid it. And so that's why all the theories work. But in order to like fully understand and master flying, we're missing a thing that apparently both theories are missing. That's what those two things saw. And I just kind of read that and I was like, I have so many other things I'm reading into. I'll just I don't want to read more into planes and why I shouldn't trust them. You know, I'm just like, I already distrust planes. I'm just going to get on them. Hey, this is before I went to LA. That might be why I saw this thing. Cause like I was going on a plane and I was like, yeah, I'm just not going to read airplane articles now. And I never came back
I looked
to
it up.
I saw
it looks
that
like some people are debating about it, whether we do or don't know. And it turns out we do know, but it's just not easy to explain.
It's not easy to explain. It's not easy to prove, and it's also not easy to disprove all in the same breath somehow. That's what I gathered from the things I saw. And the debate, I think it's valid because the debate was like, well, your theory is wrong because of this structure that we do have and we have flown. And then the other side's like, yeah, but your theory is wrong because our theory works. And then it's just, I was like, what is happening here? Why can't we just say we know how flying works? I want that to be something that we just,
it looks like a majority of people are just saying that we know how flying works though.
We know how our flying works. We know how we are able to get off the air.
But I mean, yeah, like there's always going to be like that 1% that we don't know, and of course things that we can expand upon.
Sort of. It's like that is yes, but it's also no. Like there are times where our systems fail, and we just don't have the answer for that. It's not the same thing as like the unknown, right? Like it would be I guess it'd be an example of like the black holes are unknown to us because we've never, it's not like if we have a black hole, we're dying, right? So like that's unknown. Well, there's like no situation where we're interacting with the black hole and our science is failing us because of that black hole. Versus this situation, apparently it is, but we just don't put ourselves in that situation because of laws and regulations and whatever.
I see it more like how the black hole, like we know certain things about it that, like, of course, all in theory. And I think flying is, I mean, anything is the same way. Like, we know what we know, but there's always room to venture into the unknown or things that we haven't tested before. Like, I bet in like 100 years, we're going to have some shit that has to do with driving that we didn't know about before. We're like, oh, like if you actually just, throw this in, like it'll change. It's the same thing with flying. Like, yeah,
it's the same thing.
There's always going to be that 1% that we don't know, but I feel like for planes, it might just be like more noticeable.
And here's my problem with that though. We have not even like billions. We have trillion, like literally most of humanity, modern humanity is like funneling money into aerospace, like from space to travel to military to rockets. Like that's a little bit more bothersome than even driving. But the comparison I would put is air fryers and ovens. We've had all of the creation of air fryers, but it took like 80 years of ovens existing to add a fan to it. Something so simple, something so easy. And now we have an air fryer, and air fryers are now, they can, in a few years, they might even be a household appliance in everybody's house because that's how good, efficient, great they are. All they did was add a fan. That's super simple, right? That's what I'm imagining with planes, where it's like it's because we have this like framework of what works and what is, and we've scaled it up so much that we don't want to challenge the theory, despite having like literally every country on the planet is putting more money into planes than probably healthcare at the end of the day, because it's related to military, it's related to science, it's related to travel. They're all doing it. And to know that like that much is there, and like even on a it's not E equals MC squared level, it's on a consumer level that they're like, but this doesn't work. This doesn't work. and we don't put our planes like that in this situation, because if we did, it would fuck up.
I think
and
that's
I'm just
fine.
like, it's
maybe
not
I'm too simple. I'm too simple. It's like if
If
it works,
you
it
hired
works.
the smartest people on the planet and you had a question, and there's like, and this is like a staple of society, and it's like, no. Because it's not like because when you're saying
I
like
don't
the
know,
people
man. Like
saying
I'd be like, if it works, it works. You know. Like yeah, we can always figure that shit out later.
And so and that, but that the figuring out later is fine. I'm fine with that, but it's not the same thing as like it. You could argue with the same thing with cars too. Like we could have had electric engines earlier, but the problem was like the gas companies, the car companies, they were all fighting it. Who's fighting the plane companies to make planes faster, better, more versatile? Like that, I feel like it's a prerogative of society to just go to the nth tier of flying. Like there's not really a prerogative that the US military even would have against like keeping our own assets from like Boeing. All of these plane things are ours and we're just like, another example to what you said, right? Planes, in my opinion, like nth tier. If we're putting so much money into it, it doesn't make sense that we're not developing it to the nth stage, right? Versus something, we'll save this for another time, because I actually dive deep, and I happen to have with me at the time like a Mensa vet, like who was able to give me inside information, but inside that, like Velcro. There's a conspiracy theory that the US military was hiding Velcro from us. Not any Velcro. What's the biggest problem with Velcro? Why isn't Velcro more mainstream? It's so much easier than a zipper. But why isn't Velcro more mainstream, do you think?
Is it because it deteriorates over time?
Or well, like we can fix that. Effect? That's more fixable. It's loud. You can't just be like, you're in a school and you're unzipping your backpack versus someone just, and so the US military had that issue where it's like zipping is a thing, right? Versus if I'm opening something up and I'm in the field, whatever, I'm going to need Velcro. But the military needed silent Velcro. And so my friend's like, wait, that doesn't exist. I was like, no, I'm pretty sure we have it. That someone's hiding it. And then he Googled it and said the US military developed silent Velcro. We actually have many versions of silent Velcro that don't deteriorate, that work. It's just not mainstream for some reason. And like now that I'm saying on the podcast, so my friend's going to be mad because he was like, maybe we should do this. And I was like, man, Velcro got shit on the marketing side. Nobody likes Velcro, I feel like. But like we were talking about it for kids' shoes. Or not kids shoes, for shoes in general. Like there was like these boots that had zippers. And I was like, damn, like remember when we could just strap on that Velcro? And the surface level thing that the US military says, I'm not gonna say my sources, even though I already did, was that the silent Velcro at the time wasn't that strong. It lost its strength, its holding strength. But it's been a few decades, and he told me some. I mean, not he. My sources told me some interesting things about how they handled about It used to be military standard, like you used to have it military standard silent Velcro, and so my first thought was like, wait, you were active duty back then. Do you have your like old do you have some of your old stuff? And he's like, no, they took them back. I was like, wait, what? And then yeah, after a certain year, they took back all the silent Velcro. I was like, what do you mean? And I had the whole conspiracy theory that like, yo, they didn't want people to like reverse engineer their silent Velcro. Because if it was just like everybody had it, like let's say some military dude got captured on the field, now China can now mass manufacture our silent Velcro. And I was like, I could see that. Maybe we saved the silent Velcro for the special forces or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But silent Velcro.
You always have to keep your inventions close to your chest.
I'm gonna get silent Velcro. I'm gonna bulk order it.
Yeah, you're gonna.
I found the person.
Yeah, just bulk order it, sell it in the marketplace.
Would you buy it if I made a shirt that had silent Velcro? Wait, why not? You don't like Velcro?
What? Why would I put it on my shirt? What? What use would that be?
What if your pants didn't have a zipper and didn't have a button, but had really strong, reliable Velcro?
I think a button looks better and a zipper looks better. And I wouldn't trust the Velcro, and even if I did,
wait, but they don't
like,
see
why
the
would I go
zipper.
out of my way?
People don't see the zipper. You can have the button. I'll give you the button. You can have the button to secure it.
But why would I want
fasten?
But would it cost more? Would it be cheaper?
Faster? No, it'd be the same price. I'm pretty sure the zipper metal is more expensive than fabric. There's no shot that metal, even plastic, shitty. Oh, here's the thing, because some zippers fail. Bad zippers suck. Have you ever had a zipper that just
zippers
breaks?
suck? But here's the thing, like, why would I go out of my way to get your silent Velcro?
You wouldn't. I would get the patent or licensing and to put it into.
So
I'd first
zipper
collab with
versus Velcro.
Levi's would be my first target.
So zipper versus Velcro.
Yeah.
I don't know. That would be hard because you would have. It's like the cigarette thing, you know. Like zippers are cooler than Velcro.
And that was the conversation. I was saying that I had a conspiracy that I'm pretty sure Big Zipper shut Velcro down, and he's like, "There's no such thing as Big Zipper." I was like, "Oh yeah, is Velcroing something cool or zippering something cool?" And we were like, "Zippering."
Okay,
like, zippering.
So are you gonna say that for everything that isn't cool? Just go to their opposite team and be like, "Oh, big coffee's putting tea down."
I'm gonna say that for things that are reasonably more efficient, and I know that it's more efficient because the U.S. military confirmed that in order for fast activity, in order for efficient movement, they would use Velcro. The one time Velcro fails is for the covert stuff, right? You can't just be like in your
I don't know about Velcro because with Velcro you'd have to like line it up. And I have like OCD, so I'd want to make sure that shit's perfect.
What do you mean?
No, I have OCD, so I'd want that to be like lined up. So I'm down here, like just let me boop, 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 boop. When in reality, like a zipper, I could just one motion, I'm done.
Yeah, but the thing is, most zippers, and you may experience, and maybe you don't because you're Mr. Bezos Bucks over there, but like most people have probably experienced that awesome jacket that they loved and got, but then the zipper was low quality, it got stuck, it sucks.
Oh, I know no, I would not have a Velcro hoodie or a Velcro jacket.
Well, what I would say is that there's a lot of jackets that remove the zipper.
Here's the thing:
extra fastening thing on the inside.
If people want to buy this, go for it. I'm not going to stop anybody. It's just not my product.
Yeah, no, I'm fine with that. But that's what I'm saying. Why is Velcro silenced? You know what I mean? And I think it was a
nobody
marketing
cares
thing.
about it.
It was a push down. And
I hope it keeps on getting pushed down.
I'm gonna bring back Velcro. It's gonna be the Par Velcro. It's gonna be quiet and stealthy. It's gonna come in
a couple of years. I want to see that on the market.
The first and second place, because the other place that I was saying, the confusion I had was like, why isn't Japan like like Japan? They have like the streetwear, like the that streetwear where it's like you have a jacket but it has like 50,000 pockets.
Yeah,
I was like, why? Some of those could be Velcro, like some of them are, but I think they go away from it because the whole point of the sleek and whatever is that the sound, quiet, minimal sound. You don't want sound in a minimal design, right? So like, but if you had silent, and the other thing is the new Velcro is super thin, and we have directional Velcro too.
Hey, we'll see. We'll see. Give it like 30 years and see if that Velcro's out.
We don't need 30 years. It's already out. It exists. I have the wholesale.
And go for it, Par. Go try to push Velcro on people and see if it's going down well.
If you want to see silent
if you want to buy
make sure
Par's
Velcro to the channel.
clothing, just go for it. Subscribe and see what's happening.
The channel, not this channel, but the other channel, because Sai won't let me use the funding from this channel to fund my Velcro operations.
We have no funding from this channel. We make $0 on it.
Imagine we have like by the end of this would be a cool spin out. You know how many times we say like crazy batshit things? Imagine this, like we have hypothetically this channel gets super big, right? And then we set aside two separate funds. Obviously there's a channel maintenance stuff and marketing, whatever bullshit, right? Then we have a Par fund and a Sai fund, and those funds are for us to enact some of the things that we say on the podcast and like literally put our money where our mouth is, you know what I mean? And like,
Yeah.
so you say something, I say something, and like we're like, you know, by this
And then we
time,
see which
like
one
we're
makes
like
money.
40, 50. Yeah, like we have kids or whatever, and we're just
I'm
like
down
these
for
two
that.
old dudes. And, and we're just like two old dudes, and we're just arguing like, no, my duck is faster than your duck, and we both raise ducks, and then we race them and some shit. You know what I mean? I would
Oh, dude,
love that. That'd be
you'd
sick.
get smoked.
No
I
shot. My duck would burn. Your duck would be served at McDonald's by the time we're done.
dude,
What the
my duck would
fuck?
be smoking cigarettes, whereas your baby duck's gonna be over here just, oh, cigarettes, Jules. Ah. Just
My
watch.
duck would eat your duck, and
Nah,
it would
dude.
spit it out.
Your
for
duck
breakfast.
would be eating vegetables, bro. Your duck would be eating vegetables.
Guys,
Applesauce.
if you guys want to support this idea, support this venture,
Nah,
decades down the line, me and Sai are gonna raise ducks that we're gonna
we'll breed
raise on their
ducks.
own. Raise our own ducks, and we're gonna race them.
I'd be a brutal duck owner, man. Like if I was
I know it.
raising
Love
him
is
just to like
better.
win a race, like his entire life is just to win a race. Oh my
It's
god.
not the entire.
You
point.
wouldn't-
He has
you
a
wouldn't-
life
you wouldn't
after the
believe-
race.
No, there would
Unless we
be no
eat
life
them.
after the race par. Come on.
Okay, we
Like
eat the
after he
loser.
wins the first place trophy, I'd be like, well, time to eat dinner, and then I just cook him up in a stew, a hot
Are
pot.
we talking? I feel like.
But let me
I
tell
feel
you,
like
I'm
this
gonna
is
be like
filed
holding his
into-
family hostage. Like, you better run. Like his family's at the end of the, like, you know, after every race, I'm like, here's a cigarette. Like I'd be, oh man, that duck would be so basted, bro. It would be over.
For legal reasons. PETA, this is a joke. Like
Legal. What is PETA gonna do? What?
I don't know.
Oh no,
the
the hypothetical they're throwing out is too much. We gotta shut them down. Nah, dude.
These guys hate animals, and it's like meanwhile you have like 17,000 cats behind you.
Yeah,
and like
my cats don't smoke cigarettes, but if it was a duck, it'd be a different story. That duck would be dead the day
ducks
after
are
the race.
bad. Yeah,
You know,
ducks
honestly,
ducks are
what
similar
if
to
I got
dolphins.
my ducks really religious? Like, hey, like this is what your life is leading up to. Like, you need to complete this race so that you
Like-
can go to duck heaven. And then right after he wins the
Promised
race,
Neverland?
yeah, like I like tap him on the head like you did it, buddy, and then he's just dead.
You got the highest
never know.
scores.
Yeah, you got the high score
You
on
get
the
to teach
test.
the other ducks. You get to teach the other ducks how to race. We just have weekly duck races.
I'd be down for
and-
it.
The 50/50 podcast, we set aside funds for projects like that where randomly we just go off and like we just say some random shit. We're 50-year-olds.
Yeah, people
So
don't
just
like what chicken fights and stuff like that, but chicken races are different, right?
yeah,
that's a little bit different.
I mean, some people might think it's cruel to make your food walk to the grill, but like, hey, what about running?
yeah, what about
We
Red
have a-
Lobster? Come on. But hey,
we have a grill at the end of it.
we'll end the
I'm done.
episode here
It's
before
fine.
PETA gets us.
Yeah.
All right, thank you guys for stopping by. We'll catch y'all later. Tell
for
me how you
tuning
feel
in.
about Par's
50/50.
camera orientation. Because
Yeah, well, there might be some fixes into play.
yeah, it'll be
Yes.
fixed eventually, but we have a interesting layout for the next for this week and the past week, so hopefully you guys
Yeah.
didn't notice too much. But peace out.
Yeah, I like the framing. The framing.
The framing is really strange.